Hello, and welcome to the Glow and Grow channel, where you can relax, listen to simple English, and slowly improve your listening skills. Today, we are going to talk about a very important idea. Invest in yourself. Let me ask you a simple question. If you had 10 minutes today, where would you invest it? Many people spend those 10 minutes scrolling on their phone and watching other people's lives. But imagine using those same 10 minutes to learn something new, practice a skill, or improve your mindset. Over time, those 10 minutes can slowly change your life. This is what investing in yourself really means. And here is something important to understand. Investing in yourself does not always mean doing something big or dramatic. It often starts with small and simple actions. It means using your time and energy to grow a little every day. Learning something new, improving a skill, taking care of your mind, or building better habits. These small investments may not look powerful in one day, but over time, they slowly build a stronger and better version of you. And there is another important reason why investing in yourself matters so much. It is one of the few investments you will almost never regret. Money can be lost. Plans can change. Opportunities sometimes disappear. But the knowledge you gain, the skills you practice, and the mindset you build stay with you for a very long time. No one can take them away from you. When you learn something new, it becomes part of who you are. When you build a new skill, it opens new doors in your future. When you grow stronger inside, you can face challenges with more confidence. This is why investing in yourself is so powerful. Because every small improvement you make today continues helping you tomorrow, next year, and even many years from now. And once we understand why investing in ourselves is so valuable, the next question becomes very simple. What does it actually look like in everyday life? The good news is that investing in yourself does not need to be complicated. In fact, it often happens through very small daily actions. For example, you can invest in your knowledge by reading a few pages of a book or learning something new online. You can invest in your skills by practicing a language, writing a few sentences, or improving a skill you care about. You can also invest in your mind by taking time to reflect, staying calm during a difficult moment, or choosing thoughts that help you grow. Some people invest in their health by exercising, walking, or getting enough rest. None of these actions look dramatic in one day. But when you repeat them every day, they slowly build a stronger, wiser, and more confident version of yourself. Another way to invest in yourself is by taking care of your mind. Many people spend a lot of time worrying about what other people think. They compare their progress with someone else's progress. They look at other people's success and feel discouraged. But comparison is not an investment. Comparison only steals your energy. Instead of looking at other people's life, you can look at your own path. Ask yourself a simple question. What is one small thing I can improve today? Maybe you become a little more patient. Maybe you learn a new word. Maybe you try something that feels a little uncomfortable. These actions may feel small, but they are powerful over time. Let me share a short story. A few years ago, I knew someone who wanted to become more confident. but he always believed he was not good enough. Every time he saw someone more successful, he felt discouraged. One day, he decided to try something different. Instead of focusing on other people, he decided to focus on improving himself just a little bit every day. He started reading 10 pages of a book each day. He practiced speaking in front of the mirror for a few minutes. He tried learning one new skill every month. At first, the changes were very small. But after a few months, something surprising happened. His confidence began to grow. He started feeling stronger. He started believing in himself more. Not because he suddenly became perfect, but because he invested in himself every day. This is how real growth happens. Not in one big moment, but in many small moments. Imagine saving $1 every day. $1 may not look important, but after many months, the money grows. Personal growth works the same way. One small habit, one small improvement, one small step forward. And over time, these small steps create a new version of you. The most important thing to remember is this: you are the most important project in your life. Your knowledge, your skills, your mindset, and your health will stay with you longer than any job, any trend, or any social media post. When you invest in yourself, you are building a stronger future. So today, try something simple. Take 10 minutes to learn something new. Practice a skill you care about. Read a few pages of a good book. Or simply take a quiet moment to think about your goals. These small actions may not feel dramatic, but they are powerful. And if you repeat them every day, something beautiful begins to happen. You begin to grow. Your confidence becomes stronger. Your mind becomes clearer. Your future becomes brighter. One day, you may look back and realize something important. The best investment you ever made was not money. It was the time and effort you gave to becoming a better version of yourself. So remember this simple idea. Invest in yourself. Because when you grow, your whole life grows with you. Hello and welcome to the Glow and Grow channel, where you can relax, listen to simple English, and slowly improve your listening skills. Today, I want to talk about a powerful idea that can change the way you live, learn, and grow. That idea is called a growth mindset. A growth mindset begins with one simple belief. You are not finished yet. You can still learn. You can still improve. You can still become better than you are today. Many people believe the opposite. They think they are either naturally good at something or naturally bad at it. They say, I am not smart enough. I am not confident. I am not talented. I am just not the kind of person who can do this. And after saying these things again and again, they begin to believe them. They stop trying. They become afraid of mistakes. They avoid challenges. Slowly, they make their life smaller. Not because they truly cannot grow, but because they no longer believe they can. But here is an important truth. Just because something is hard now, does not mean it will always be hard. Just because you are not good at something today, does not mean you will never be good at it. Being bad at the beginning is not failure. Very often, it is simply the beginning of learning. Let me ask you a question. What do you say to yourself when something feels difficult? Do you say, "I can't do this"? Do you say, "This is not for me"? Do you say, "Maybe other people can do it, but not me"? Many people do. And this is where the problem begins. Because the way you speak to yourself shapes the way you live. If you believe your ability is fixed, every mistake feels heavy. Every slow result feels like proof that you are not enough. But if you have a growth mindset, you begin to think differently. You start to say, "This is hard, but I can learn. I am slow now, but I can improve. I may not be there yet, but I am not finished." That small change in thinking can create a very different future. Think about someone who wants to become healthier. On the first day, they go for a short walk. Maybe they feel tired after 10 minutes. Maybe their body feels heavy. Maybe they look at other people running and think, "I am so far behind." At that moment, they have two choices. They can say, "This is too hard. Maybe I am just not the kind of person who can be healthy." Or they can say, "This is only the beginning. I am still learning. I am still growing." Then they walk again the next day. And again, and again. At first, the change is very small. But after some time, they become stronger. Their energy improves. Their body changes. And something else changes too. Their belief in themselves begins to grow. That is how a growth mindset works. It helps you stay with the process long enough to see the result. One of the most important parts of a growth mindset is learning how to see mistakes in a new way. Many people are afraid of mistakes because they think mistakes mean they are not good enough. They want to do everything well the first time. They want to look capable. They want to avoid embarrassment. But real growth does not happen when everything is easy. Real growth often begins when things feel awkward, uncomfortable, and new. A mistake does not always mean you are bad at something. Sometimes it simply means you are still learning. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. They may fall many times. They may feel scared. They may not do it well at first. But no one says, "You fell down, so maybe riding a bicycle is not for you." No, they try again. Slowly, they learn balance. Slowly, they become more confident. And one day, something that once felt impossible becomes normal. Many things in life work like that. Confidence often comes after practice, not before it. Another important part of a growth mindset is patience. Growth is often quiet. It is often slow. Sometimes you try your best and still do not see big results right away. This is where many people give up. They think, nothing is changing. But often, something is changing. It is just happening more slowly than they expected. Growth is like learning a song on the piano. On the first day, your fingers feel awkward. The notes sound broken. It does not sound beautiful yet. On the second day, it is still not easy. But if you keep practicing, your hands slowly remember where to go. The sound becomes smoother. The music becomes clearer. One day, you play the song that once felt impossible. Growth can be like that too. Your confidence may be growing quietly. Your skill may be growing quietly. Your mindset may be changing quietly. Do not stop just because the result is not big yet. A growth mindset also means not comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. This is something many people forget. They look at someone successful and think, they are better than me. They are naturally talented. I will never be like them. But they often do not see the full story. They do not see the years of practice. They do not see the mistakes. They do not see the hard days. So be careful with comparison. Comparison can make you feel small and tired. Instead of asking, why am I not like them? Ask, am I growing? Am I learning? Am I becoming a little better than before? Those questions are healthier. Those questions help you keep moving. So how can you build a growth mindset in daily life? Start with your words. When something feels difficult, do not say, I can't do this. Say, I can't do this yet. That one word can change your thinking. It reminds you that your story is still growing. When you make a mistake, do not say, I am terrible. Say, I am learning. When progress feels slow, do not say, nothing is happening. Say, I am still growing, even if I cannot see it clearly yet. These are small changes, but they matter. Before you leave this episode, remember this. The person you are today is not the final version of you. You can learn. You can improve. You can grow. So be patient with yourself. Keep practicing. Keep trying. Keep believing that change is possible. Because when you start to live with a growth mindset, you do not only change what you do, you change what you believe is possible for your life. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy learning English through simple stories and encouraging ideas, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode. Today, I want to share a different idea with you. Something very simple, but very easy to forget. Your life is not late. Your life is not behind. Your life is moving in its own time. Let me ask you to imagine something. Imagine you are standing at a train station. Many trains arrive and leave. Some trains move very fast. Some move slowly. Some are full of people. Some are quiet. And as you stand there, you start to look at other trains. You see people moving quickly, going to different places, doing different things. And slowly, you begin to feel something. You feel like you are too slow. You feel like you are missing something. You feel like you should be on a different train. But here is the truth. That station is your life. And those trains are other people's journeys. Each train has its own time, its own direction, its own destination. And just because someone else is moving faster, does not mean you are late. It only means you are on a different path. Many of us spend too much time looking at other people's lives. We compare. We question ourselves. We think, why am I not there yet? Why is my life not like that? Why do I feel so slow? And without realizing it, we stop seeing our own journey. But your life is not a race. It is not something you need to finish quickly. It is something you are meant to experience, step by step. Let me share a simple example. Think about learning English. Some people learn very fast. They speak confidently in a short time. Others take longer. They move slowly. They make more mistakes. They feel shy. If you compare yourself all the time, you may feel discouraged. You may feel like you are not good enough. You may even want to give up. But if you stay on your own path, something different happens. You improve a little every day. You understand a little more. You feel a little more confident. And one day, you look back and realize that you have come much further than you thought. Growth is not always fast, but it is always happening. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Maybe there are things you wanted to do, but you have not done yet. Maybe there are goals you have not reached. Maybe there are moments when you feel like you are falling behind. That feeling is very human. We all feel it sometimes. But here is something important to remember. Just because you cannot see big results right now does not mean nothing is happening. Your life is like a quiet river. Sometimes the water moves fast. Sometimes it moves slowly. Sometimes it feels calm. Sometimes it feels unclear. But the river is always moving forward, even when it looks still on the surface. And you are like that too. Even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when you do not feel motivated, even on the days when you feel lost, something inside you is still learning, still changing, still growing. You may not notice it, but it is there. In my opinion, one of the most peaceful things you can learn is to stop fighting your own timing. To stop telling yourself that you should be somewhere else. That you should be faster, better, more successful. Instead, you can say, I am here, and that is okay. I am moving, and that is enough. There is a quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare your life to others, you lose the ability to see your own progress, your own beauty, your own quiet growth. But when you return to your own path, something changes. You feel lighter. You feel calmer. You begin to trust your journey. Let me give you a small image. Imagine you are planting a seed in the ground. You water it every day. You take care of it. But for many days, nothing appears. The ground looks the same. It feels like your effort is invisible. If you compare your seed to a big tree, you may feel disappointed. You may think, this is not working. But if you stay patient, if you continue, one day a small green leaf appears. Then it grows. Slowly, quietly, but surely. Your life is like that seed. Your effort, your patience, your small daily actions, they are all part of your growth, even if you cannot see the result yet. Now, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about where you are right now in your life. Not where you want to be, not where others are, but where you are. And instead of judging it, try to accept it. You are here. You are still trying. You are still learning, and that matters. You do not need to rush your life. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep going. in your own way, at your own pace. Because when you stop comparing, when you stop rushing, when you start accepting your journey, you begin to see something very beautiful. You begin to see that your life has always been moving. Not loudly, not quickly, but quietly. Step by step, just like a river. Just like a growing seed. Just like something that is slowly, gently becoming what it is meant to be. So today, don't worry too much about how fast you are going. Don't worry too much about where others are. Just take one small step. Learn one small thing. Be a little kinder to yourself. And trust that it is enough. Because your life is not behind. Your life is not late. Your life is simply unfolding. In its own time, in its own way, and that is exactly how it is meant to be. Thank you for listening, and I hope this message brings you a little more calm, a little more trust, and a little more patience with yourself today. Before we begin, let me ask you a simple question. How many times have you checked your phone today? Was it 10 times? Maybe 50? Or maybe you stopped counting a long time ago. In modern life, our phones are always near us. Notifications keep appearing. Messages keep coming. And without noticing, our attention slowly becomes more and more scattered. Today, we are going to talk about something that quietly affects almost everyone: digital detox. And how taking small breaks from our screens can help us reclaim our time, our focus, and the calm space in our minds. Many people do not realize how deeply technology has entered their daily routine. For many of us, the phone is the first thing we see in the morning and the last thing we see before we sleep. During the day, we check messages, scroll through social media, read news, watch short videos, and reply to notifications again and again. Sometimes we open our phone without even knowing why. It simply becomes a habit. Technology is very useful. It helps us communicate, learn, and work. But when we use it too much, something interesting begins to happen. Our attention becomes weaker. Instead of focusing deeply on one thing, our mind jumps quickly from one notification to another. One message, one video, one post, one comment. Slowly, our mind becomes used to constant stimulation. And when we try to sit quietly or focus on something important, it suddenly feels difficult. This is one reason why many people today feel mentally tired, even when they are not doing physically difficult work. Their mind is always active and always receiving new information. Another problem is that digital life can pull us away from the present moment. Imagine sitting with a friend at a cafe. But instead of talking and enjoying the moment, both people are looking at their phones. Or imagine walking in a beautiful park, but your attention is inside a small screen. Sometimes we are physically present, but mentally somewhere else. This is where the idea of digital detox becomes helpful. Digital detox simply means taking small breaks from constant digital stimulation. It does not mean that technology is bad. Technology can be very helpful and important in our lives. Digital detox only means creating healthy boundaries so that technology does not control all of our attention. The goal is not to remove technology from life, but to bring balance back. Let me share a simple example from my own experience. One evening, I opened my phone to check one message. But after that, I watched a short video, then another video, and then I opened social media. When I finally looked at the time, almost 30 minutes had passed. And when I put my phone down, I felt strangely tired. Not physically tired, but mentally tired. At that moment, I realized something important. My attention was being pulled in many different directions all the time. So I decided to try a small experiment. I did not delete all my apps, and I did not stop using my phone completely. Instead, I created small moments during the day where my phone was not present. For example, I stopped using my phone during meals. I also stopped checking my phone immediately after waking up. Instead, I gave myself about 10 quiet minutes in the morning before looking at any screen. At night, I tried to stop using my phone at least 30 minutes before sleep. At first, these changes felt a little uncomfortable. My mind still wanted to check notifications. But after a few days, something interesting happened. My mind became calmer. I started to notice small details again. I could hear the sound of birds outside. I could enjoy the feeling of fresh air during a walk. I could pay more attention to the taste of food during meals. Simple moments suddenly felt more enjoyable. This is one of the beautiful effects of digital detox. When our attention returns to the real world, life begins to feel richer and more meaningful. Another benefit is better focus. When our mind is not constantly interrupted by notifications, it becomes easier to concentrate. Reading becomes easier. Learning becomes easier. Creative thinking becomes easier. Even conversations with other people can become deeper and more meaningful. The good news is that digital detox does not need to be extreme. In fact, small changes are often the most powerful. You can create small, phone-free moments during the day. Maybe the first 10 minutes after waking up. Maybe during meals. Maybe during a walk outside. Or maybe the last 30 minutes before going to sleep. These small spaces allow your mind to rest and breathe. And slowly, something beautiful begins to happen. Your mind becomes clearer. Your focus becomes stronger. Your stress becomes lower. And you begin to feel more present in your own life. So today, try asking yourself a simple question. How much of my attention is living inside my phone? And how much of my attention is living in the real world around me? Technology should support our life, not replace it. When we sometimes step away from the screen, we begin to reclaim something very important: our attention, our time, and our life. So remember this simple idea. You do not need to disconnect from the world. Sometimes you only need to disconnect from the screen for a while. And when you do, you may discover that the real world has been waiting for your attention all along. Today, I want to talk about something that can quietly change your whole life. Planning your life. This may sound serious at first, but actually, it is very simple. Many people want a better life. They want more peace, more success, more meaning, and more happiness. But often, they do not stop and ask an important question. What kind of life do I really want? And this is where the problem begins. Because if you do not know what you truly want, life can take you in many different directions. You may keep saying yes to things that do not feel right. You may follow other people's dreams. You may build a life that looks okay from the outside, but does not feel right on the inside. Sometimes, when people do not know what they really like, they simply accept what comes to them. A job appears. A relationship appears. A busy schedule appears. And they say yes, not because they deeply want it, but because they are not sure what else they want. And slowly, they begin to live a life they never clearly chose. This is why planning your life matters. Planning does not mean controlling everything. It does not mean every day must be perfect. And it does not mean life will always go the way you expect. Planning means giving your life direction. It means knowing what matters to you. It means understanding what kind of person you want to become. It means deciding what you want to move toward and what you want to move away from. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you want to travel to a new city. You are excited. You want to arrive there safely. You want to enjoy the journey. But what happens if you do not know where the city is? What happens if you do not check the road? What happens if you just start driving without a map? You may keep moving, but you may not reach the place you truly want. Life can be like that too. Many people are always busy. They work hard. They try many things. They move all the time. But being busy is not the same as moving in the right direction. You can spend years doing many things and still feel lost. Not because you are lazy, not because you are weak, but because you never made a clear plan for the life you wanted. There is another important truth. A dream needs a plan. Many people say, I want to speak English better. I want to be healthier. I want to save money. I want a more peaceful life. These are good goals. But a goal without a plan often stays only a dream. Why? Because wanting something is not enough. You need to know what you will do. If you want better English, maybe you can listen for 15 minutes every day. If you want better health, maybe you can walk more and sleep earlier. If you want more peace, maybe you can spend less time on your phone and give yourself more quiet time. A goal becomes real when your daily life supports it. And this is why planning matters so much. Here is something interesting. Many people carefully plan their vacation. They think about where to go, what to bring, and what they want to enjoy. But sometimes, they spend more time planning 1 week of travel than planning their own life. And that is something to think about, because your life is even more important. How do you want to live? What kind of work, habits, and relationships do you want in your life? These are important questions. Your life is built from your days, and your days are built from your choices. So if you want a meaningful life, it helps to plan meaningful days. Ask yourself simple questions. How do I want today to feel? What is one important thing I need to do today? What is stealing my energy? What gives me peace? What can I accept? What can I no longer accept? These are powerful questions. A clear plan can bring you back to yourself. It reminds you of who you are. It reminds you of what matters. It reminds you of the kind of life you are trying to build. And step by step, that creates a deeper kind of happiness. Not the quick happiness that disappears in a moment, but the quiet happiness of knowing that your life is becoming more honest, more intentional, and more truly yours. So please take a notebook, sit quietly, and ask yourself a few honest questions. What do I truly want more of in my life? What do I want less of? What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of life would feel meaningful to me? What is one small step I can begin today? Maybe your first step is waking up earlier. Maybe it is learning a new skill. Maybe it is saving a little money. Maybe it is spending less time on things that drain you. Maybe it is finally admitting that you want something different from the life you are living now. That honesty is powerful. Because once your direction becomes clear, your choices begin to change. And when your choices change, your life begins to change too. Before you leave this episode, remember this. If you do not plan your life, life may choose for you. And you may end up carrying things you never truly wanted. But when you take time to understand yourself, define your values, and create a clear plan, you give yourself something beautiful. You give yourself direction. You give yourself purpose. And you give yourself a better chance at a happy and meaningful life. Because the clearer your life plan becomes, the more peacefully and intentionally you can live. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy learning English through simple stories and thoughtful ideas, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Have you ever opened your phone just to relax for a few minutes, but after scrolling for a while, you suddenly feel like your life is not good enough? Maybe you see someone traveling to a beautiful place, someone else starting a new business, another person sharing a big achievement. At first, you are just watching. But slowly, a quiet thought appears in your mind. Everyone is moving forward except me. And without realizing it, your attention slowly leaves your own life and begins to live inside everyone else's story. But here is something most people never stop to ask. If you spend so much time watching everyone else's life, who is actually building yours? This is something very important to understand. Your attention is like energy. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. If your attention is always on other people, your energy goes there too. Their progress fills your mind, and their success affects how you feel. But when your attention returns to your own life, something different begins to happen. Your energy starts helping your own growth. Think about a simple situation. Imagine you want to learn English. You sit down and start watching a lesson. For a few minutes, you are focused. But then you open social media. You see someone speaking English very fluently. Another person says they learned English in 6 months. Someone else posts a perfect video speaking English. Suddenly, a thought appears in your mind. Maybe I am too slow. When that thought appears, your motivation becomes weaker. But here is the truth many people forget. The problem is not your ability. The problem is where your attention is going. Attention works like a flashlight in a dark room. Wherever you point the light, that place becomes clear. If you point the light at the wall, you see the wall. If you point the light at the floor, you see the floor. Your attention works the same way. If you focus on other people's lives, you mostly see their success and their progress. But if you focus on your own life, you begin to see something different. You start seeing your own opportunities, your own ideas, and your own next step. Let me tell you a short story. I once knew someone who wanted to improve his English. At first, he was very motivated. He watched videos every day and tried to learn new words. But after some time, he started comparing himself with other learners. Some people spoke more fluently. Some people learned faster. Some people sounded very confident. Every time he listened to them, he felt discouraged and began thinking, maybe I am just not good at this. Slowly, he practiced less and less. Not because he could not improve, but because comparison was taking away his energy. One day, he tried something different. Instead of asking, "Who is better than me?" he asked himself a simple question. What is one small thing I can improve today? Some days he learned 5 new words. Some days he listened to English for 10 minutes. Some days he practiced speaking one simple sentence. The improvement was small, and sometimes almost invisible. But he continued doing it every day. After a few months, something interesting happened. His listening became easier, and his speaking became more confident. Not because he was the best learner, but because he focused on his own progress. This is an important lesson. Growth becomes easier when we stop comparing and start improving. Another way to understand this is to imagine a mirror. A mirror helps you see yourself clearly. You notice small changes. Maybe you are stronger than last year. Maybe you are calmer in difficult situations. Maybe you are learning new skills. But imagine turning that mirror away from yourself and pointing it toward everyone else. Now the mirror no longer helps you because you only see other people. Many people live like this. Their attention becomes a mirror that only shows other people's lives. But when you turn the mirror back toward yourself, something changes. You begin to see your own progress again. Maybe you are more patient than before. Maybe you are learning something new. Maybe you are slowly becoming stronger after a difficult time. These changes may be small, but they are real. And when you notice your own progress, confidence begins to grow. Confidence does not come from being better than everyone else. Confidence comes from seeing yourself improve, step by step. So here is something simple you can try today. Instead of asking, "Who is doing better than me?" ask yourself, "What is one small thing I can do better today?" Maybe you read 1 more page, practice 10 more minutes, or take 1 small step toward your goal. These steps may look small, but when you repeat them every day, they slowly change your life. When you focus on your own path, life becomes calmer and clearer. You stop competing with everyone else and start growing at your own pace. And one day you may realize something important. The real goal was never to be better than others. The real goal was simply to become a better version of yourself. So before you continue your day, ask yourself one simple question. What is one small step I can take today? Because remember this, your life grows where your attention goes. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy learning English through simple stories and gentle encouragement, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you planned to change your life, but nothing really changed? Maybe you told yourself, I will start next week. I will start when I feel ready. I just need more time to prepare. But weeks pass, months pass, and your life still feels the same. This is something many people experience. Not because they are lazy, but because they are waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting to feel ready. But here is the truth. Your life does not change when you plan. Your life changes when you act. If you want to succeed in anything, there is one simple rule. You must start. Not perfectly, not confidently, just start. Because every result you see in life comes from action. Without action, even the best idea will stay inside your mind forever. Let's think about this in a real situation. Imagine a student who dreams of getting a scholarship to a good university. They want it very much. They read about it. They imagine their future. They tell themselves, one day, I will try. But they never really begin. They don't study every day. They don't practice English. They don't prepare for exams. They only think. Now imagine another student. This student also has the same dream, but they start small. They study a little every day. They improve step by step. They practice even when they feel tired. At the beginning, they are not perfect. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they feel slow, but they keep going. After 1 year, they are stronger. After 2 years, they are ready. And one day, they get the scholarship. So what made the difference? Not luck, not talent, but action. Many people believe they need to feel ready before they start. But in reality, readiness comes after action. You don't wait to feel confident. You become confident because you take action again and again. Let's take another simple example. You want to improve your English. You watch videos about learning methods. You search for the best way to study. You create a perfect plan, but you don't practice. Then nothing changes. Now imagine you just do something small. You listen to English for 10 minutes. You learn 5 new words. You speak one simple sentence. It feels small, but when you do it every day, it becomes powerful. Small actions create real progress. One important thing to understand is this. You don't need a big start. You only need a real start. Because big changes in life always begin with small steps. Sometimes we stop ourselves because we want everything to be perfect. But perfection is not the goal. Progress is the goal. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to learn slowly. That is how growth works. So today, don't think about changing your whole life. Just ask yourself one simple question. What is one small thing I can do today? Maybe you listen to this podcast again. Write a few sentences in English. Read one page of a book. Or take a short walk to clear your mind. Just one small step, that is enough. Because success is not one big moment. It is many small actions done every day, step by step, day by day. If you never start, your future will stay the same. But if you start today, even in a small way, you open a new path. A path where you can grow. A path where you can improve. A path where your life slowly becomes better. And before we finish, I want to share something small with you. I wrote this script on a quiet day when I was also thinking about my own life. About the times I waited too long, and the moments I finally decided to begin. I realized that change did not come when I had the perfect plan, but when I took a small step forward. Maybe you are also in a similar place right now, feeling unsure, feeling a little stuck, or just waiting for something to change. If that is you, I want you to know that you are not alone, and you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take one step. I truly hope that from today, you will be a little braver, a little more patient with yourself, and a little more willing to try. And I hope that one day, you will look back and feel proud. Not because everything was easy, but because you chose to start. I wish you strength, growth, and many small wins on your journey ahead. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Start small. Start now. And trust that every step you take is moving you forward. Think of your life like walking in the dark with a small flashlight. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to see one step in front of you. And when you take that step, the next step will slowly appear. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." So maybe today, you don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to take one small step forward. You can download the learning materials for this lesson in the comment section below, so you can practice more easily and improve your English step by step. Take your time. Come back to this lesson anytime. And let this be one small step in your journey to grow every day. Have you ever tried something new and immediately thought, "I can't do this"? Maybe you tried to learn a new skill, speak in front of people, or start a project. And after a few mistakes, you told yourself, "Maybe I'm just not good at this." Many people feel this way. But sometimes the problem is not our ability. The problem is that we stop too early. Today, I want to share a simple idea with you. You are often much better than you think. Many people underestimate themselves. They see only their mistakes and forget how much they are capable of learning. Think about a child learning to walk. The child falls many times. But the child does not say, "Walking is not for me." The child simply tries again. Step by step, the child becomes stronger. After some time, walking becomes natural. If adults learn new skills with the same patience, we would probably surprise ourselves much more often. There is also something interesting about the human brain. Our brain learns through practice. When we repeat something many times, the brain slowly builds new connections. At first, everything feels difficult and uncomfortable. But little by little, the brain adapts. Skills that once felt impossible begin to feel normal. This is why many successful people say the same thing. They were not always confident in the beginning. Many of them simply continued practicing when things were difficult. Over time, their ability grew. Imagine someone learning a new language. At first, they understand almost nothing. Speaking feels embarrassing. But if they practice a little every day, something amazing happens. After a few months, they begin to understand more words. After a year, they can hold simple conversations. The person who once believed I'm bad at languages may suddenly realize they can communicate with people from another country. Life works in a similar way. Many limits we feel are only temporary. They are often just the result of not practicing long enough. Sometimes we judge ourselves too quickly. We try something for a short time. It feels difficult. And we decide that we are not talented. But talent often grows slowly. Confidence grows slowly too. You may not see your full potential yet, and that is completely normal. Potential is like a seed. At the beginning, you cannot see the tree. But if the seed receives time, patience, and care, it will eventually grow. The same is true for your abilities. When you give yourself time to learn, improve, and make mistakes, you begin to discover strengths you did not know you had. So the next time you feel like giving up on something, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this really impossible? Or have I just not practiced enough yet? Because many times, the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who stops is not talent. It is simply the decision to keep going. You are learning. You are growing. You are changing. And very often, you are already much better than you think. Before we end today's episode, I want to ask you something. What is one thing you once believed you could not do, but later discovered you actually could? Sometimes remembering those moments can remind us of an important truth. Our abilities are often much greater than our doubts.